Okay, I'm bored now. Where's gorgeous Borges? He should have signed by now. He hasn't signed. Myself and Gio got all excited the other day. Did a special upload, little joint upload and everything. Made a bit of a meal of it. And, well, where is he? I don't know. I mean, we're not asking for much. It's just the kids. This is not even the main signing. Look, signing a 14-year-old. So 14-year-old. He's a 19-year-old for 14 million. I get my numbers the right way round. He's not going to get this moustache shaved off. We need a senior player for 25 million or above. But there's been a lot of other rumours going on. Now, there's a really confusing one. And I've got to be honest here with the source material. I don't know. I'm not an in the know. Far from it. If I knew something, I'd tell you. I don't know this at all. Let me tell you about the previous rumour before I tell you the one that's doing the rounds now as I record this. The previous rumour was that Tim Steidten didn't want Denis Zakaria. It was David Moyes that wanted him. Tim Steidten had said, well, he used to rate him, but since he was injury prone, his running stats were down. He was not as good, so he didn't think it'd be a good thing. The most recent story, now I have to be really clear on this. I read this on Hammers News, and Hammers News are quoting The Guardian, but I couldn't find it in The Guardian, that particular bit. That's not to say it wasn't there, I just couldn't find it. It wasn't in Jacob Steinberg's most recent roundup. But the newest story is that actually it's Steinberg that wants Denis Zakaria from Juventus, and David Moyes has said he doesn't want him because he's injury prone. Oh, honestly, it's really hard. It's hard to even get my head around and actually say the words. Okay, are you any clearer? No, I'm not either. I just don't know what's going on. I just found the whole thing a little bit odd. I don't even know if I want the guy or not. He seems all right. Maybe he is a little bit injury prone. It's just a little bit weird that this transfer window seems to... Well, there's no signings. I haven't made a signing yet, have we? So that ain't quite so good. We dealt yesterday with the James Ward-Prowse and Flynn Downs swap. I mentioned it. I probably didn't give my opinion on it. I think it's a bit of a shame to be trading Flynn Downs in. I certainly don't think we should be letting any players go until new ones have come in, and I would include Aaron Cresswell in that as well. However, it is also in the news, sort of right now, as I record this quite late on Friday night, that West Ham have sanctioned the deal for Antonio to leave. Now, for those of you who don't know, there was interest from, I can't think of the name, Saudi club. Steven Gerrard's a manager. I think Jordan Henderson is going there for an absolute fortune. They were rumoured to be interested in Michail Antonio. Maybe they've moved on to Divock Origi now. I don't know. Not sure. That was certainly the case earlier on. But it seems like West Ham have said to Michail Antonio that he can go. Now, whether he wants to go is another matter. I don't really know what the situation is with their but. Again, do we really want to be sanctioning the sale of a striker? I think that's a little bit different. I think it would be silly to do it with... I don't want to sell Mabama. I think it would be silly to do it with Scamacca. I think with a year left on his contract, if we can get some money for Antonio, particularly bearing in mind he doesn't want to be here, it's probably not a bad thing, really. Now, there were a couple of other rumours, actually, which I'm just going to go into now and have a quick look. One of them was... that's probably the other thing I should say about Antonio. There's even more reports that were interested in Armando Broja. Now, we spoke about Martson yesterday, didn't we? Who, of course, is the Chelsea fullback who was on loan at Burnley. It appears that Pochettino wants all these guys to be involved in pre-season, so he wants to take a closer look at them. This happened last season, albeit not with Pochettino. It was Tuchel last season, if you remember. We really wanted Armando Broja, and it was Tuchel said, I need to see it. I need to get this right. I need to see them at close quarters to assess them. So we've got the same thing going on there. I've spoken about the James Ward-Prowse stuff. It was understood that West Ham had issued a verbal offer. I don't know what that means. What, a verbal offer for James Ward-Prowse? Why is it a verbal offer? Why aren't we just making an offer? Why are we approaching and doing verbal offers? Can we just not make an offer? I'm not saying I want James Ward-Prowse. I'm really not. I've said that. I think he'd be okay. I really do. But he's not. I wouldn't be the chosen one as far as I was concerned. If you want him, just go and bid for him. Do you know what I mean? And then the bid gets rejected and you can get the ball rolling like you did with that Polino. At least you get to find out. Football España. There's a website called Football España. You never guess who they've linked us with. It's a forward. He's a Moroccan forward. Plays in Spain. It's called Youssef En-Nesyri. And a transfer window would not be a real proper transfer window without a link to Youssef En-Nesyri. I mean, it's great. He's not coming. He never comes. He never does he? He's the latest. There was a lot of Grant Holt used to get linked to him a lot. Idaker Johnson, that happened quite a lot. Jonathan Tah, as I understood it, there was a buyout clause for Jonathan Tah, which I think has already elapsed. I might be wrong, but it'd be typical West Ham if we let the buyout clause elapse and then we go and buy him for more than we could have got him for a week ago. That's really odd what's going on there. Let's talk about Fofana. Now, Fofana is an interesting one actually because I've just seen another one with Youssef En-Nesyri. They gone double Youssef En-Nesyri. Look, Fofana's an interesting one really because we've been rumoured to be interested in him. For a little while into this window. Now, apparently David Moyes is unsure about him. I think it's Youssef Fofana. I think that might be right there. Now, apparently David Moyes has his doubts because he thinks that we really should be going for Premier League established players, which I get, but that also does rule out a lot of the other signings that we have been linked with. There's no doubt about that at all. Now, I think it's fine to be cautious. I really do. What I would say is, having looked at this player, he looks okay. And I wouldn't mind getting him, but I've liked other players that we've been linked with more than this guy. And I know he's a slightly different type player, but I certainly like Yunus Musa more than this guy. This fella's decent enough, central midfielder. Seems to be able to do a bit of everything. Tackling, carries the ball relatively well. A bit clumsy, if I'm honest. But you know what? I just don't think we can afford to delay or sort of dilly-dally anymore with any of this stuff because it's just not doing us any good whatsoever. If the season does start soon, and at the moment the composition of the midfield, he's going to start Souček, but I think the composition of the midfield would be Flynn Downs and Thomas Souček at the moment. And funny enough, it's not Flynn Downs ain't my biggest worry about the composition of that midfield. And what's going to happen? What? Dan Potts, Freddie Potts. There you go. It's going to be understudy. I keep calling him Dan Potts. I do apologise. People keep pulling me up for it, and you're absolutely right. I deserve 2 moustaches for saying that, don't I? Really? Actually, how would that work? No one wants to see that today. Freddie Potts would be in central midfield or be back up the central midfield. I like him. I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but we need to bring in a senior midfielder. And apparently, we want 2. Well, you know what? If you want 2 midfielders, you'd think 1 would be in already, wouldn't you? I don't know. Anyway, it's just all getting a little bit frustrating. Can we not just sign somebody, please? And look, there's been many people speaking about my moustache. I bet you're gutted you said that. Now, I don't care. You know what? I was just honestly, I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. I was just trying to inject a little bit of something else to do in this transfer. And quite frankly, I'm glad I did, really, because it's given us something to talk about. The problem is, I've got more people messaging me about my moustache than people saying, I definitely think we're going to sign this player. The moustache is more certain than a signing coming in, and that's a bloody worry.